Hi everyone! For today's video, we're going to explore blood. Blood is a specialized connective tissue that circulates in the blood vessels. It transports gases, nutrients, hormones, and wastes, regulates pH, temperature, and osmosis. It also provides protection and allows clot formation. It is found inside the heart and blood vessels. Blood flows inside our heart and vessels, bringing oxygen and nutrients while removing wastes. It also regulates temperature and pH, and forms clots when needed. For example, when we exercise, blood works harder to deliver oxygen to our muscles. Blood is a thick, slightly alkaline fluid that varies in color depending on oxygen content. Its properties help it transport substances and regulate body conditions. It circulates throughout the vascular system. Blood looks different depending on oxygen. Bright red when rich, dull when poor. It is 5 times thicker than water, slightly alkaline with a pH of 7.35 to 7.45, and warmer than body temperature. For example, after running, blood carries more heat, making us feel flushed. Now let's talk about the 4 main components of blood. First, we have plasma. It is the liquid portion of blood that makes up about 55% of its volume. It transports nutrients, electrolytes, gases, hormones, proteins, and wastes, while maintaining fluid balance. It surrounds and suspends the blood cells within the vessels. Plasma is the transport medium of the blood. It carries food molecules, hormones, and wastes. For example, after eating rice, glucose enters the plasma so it can reach our cells as energy. Second, we have erythrocytes or the RBCs. Erythrocytes or red blood cells are biconcave unnucleate cells filled with hemoglobin. They transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. They are found in circulating blood. Red blood cells give blood its red color. Their shape helps them carry more hemoglobin, which binds oxygen. For example, when climbing stairs, RBCs deliver oxygen quickly, so our muscles won't get tired easily. Third, we have leukocytes or the WBCs. Leukocytes or white blood cells are cells in the immune system that make up less than 1% of blood volume. They defend the body against bacteria, viruses, and other harmful agents. They are found in blood and can move into tissues during infection. White blood cells are our soldiers. They move to areas of infection through diabetes and chemotaxis. For example, when we have sore throat, WBCs increase to fight bacteria. Types of WBCs. White blood cells are divided into granulocytes, which are the neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils, and agranulocytes, which are the lymphocytes and monocytes. Each type has a role in body defense. Neutrophils fight bacteria, eosinophils act in allergies, basophils release histamine, lymphocytes provide immunity, and monocytes turn into macrophages. They are found in blood and body tissues. Each white blood cell has a special duty. For example, after vaccination, lymphocytes remember the antigen and protects us when the same infection comes back. Fourth, we have the platelets or the thrombocytes. Platelets are fragments of megakaryocytes that circulate in blood. They are responsible for clot formation and prevention of blood loss. They are found in circulating blood. Platelets act like emergency responders. For example, if you get a small wound, platelets gather quickly to form a clot and stop bleeding. Now let's move on to the processes happening in blood. Hematopoiesis is the process of forming blood cells in the red bone marrow. It ensures continuous production of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. It is found in red bone marrow. Hematopoiesis happen in bone marrow. RBCs are regulated by erythropoietin, WBCs by interleukins, and platelets by thrombopoietin. For example, at high altitudes, the body makes more RBCs to carry extra oxygen. Hemostasis is the process that stops bleeding after a blood vessel injury. It prevents excessive blood loss by forming clots. It occurs at the site of injury in blood vessels. Hemostasis has 3 steps: the vessel spasm, platelet plug, and coagulation. For example, during a nosebleed, hemostasis works to eventually stop the bleeding. And finally, the identity markers. Blood groups are determined by the presence or absence of specific proteins called antigens on the surface of red blood cells and antibodies in plasma. They are the basis for safe blood transfusions. The antigens are located on the red blood cells while antibodies are found in the plasma. Blood groups are like the ID system of our blood. On the surface of red blood cells, they are the special proteins called antigens. In the plasma, they are the antibodies that recognize and attack foreign antigens. That's why when someone gets a wrong blood type, their antibodies will attack the new cells, causing clumping or agglutination. For example, a person with type A blood has anti-B antibodies, so if they receive type B blood, their immune system will attack it, which is very dangerous. The ABO types. Type A has A antigens on RBCs and anti-B antibodies in plasma. Type B has B antigens on RBCs and anti-A antibodies in plasma. Type AB has both A and B antigens, but no antibodies. They are the universal receiver. And type O has no antigens but has anti-A and anti-B antibodies. They are the universal donor. The ABO system is divided into 4 main types. Type A has A antigens on the red cells and anti-B antibodies in the plasma. Type B is the opposite. Type AB has both A and B antigens and no antibodies, so it can safely receive blood from any type, making it the universal receiver. Meanwhile, type O has no antigens, but has both antibodies, so it can only receive from type O. However, because it has no antigens, it can give to anyone, which is why it is the universal donor. For example, in emergencies, hospitals often use type O negative blood because it is the safest to give to any patient. And the Rh factor. It's another antigen found on the surface of RBCs. If present, the blood is positive, but if absent, it is negative. It further classifies blood types, for example, A positive or O negative. They are found on the surface of red blood cells. The Rh factor is another important marker in blood typing. If the antigen is present, we call it Rh positive. If absent, it's Rh negative. This is important for transfusions and even in pregnancies. For example, if a mother is Rh negative but her baby is Rh positive, it can cause complications unless treated with special injections. In conclusion, blood is a vital connective tissue in the human body. Its components, plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, work together to transport substances, regulate body conditions, protect against disease, and prevent excessive blood loss through clotting. Blood typing also ensures safety and compatibility in transfusions. These functions show why blood is central to maintaining life and health. That's all, guys. I hope you learned something today. Thank you for listening. Bye!